Finding Fuscata. I'm Sean. I want to talk to you about one of my mantras, and it's a principle that I try to live by, and right now I am living by it. And that principle is never let perfection be the enemy of progress. And I say that to myself all the time because I'm a perfectionist. And I didn't want to let another week go by without posting a video, without making some kind of progress. So I wanted to I haven't shaved, and I just went in and brushed my beard down and got my hair wet a little bit, and I'm in my PJ shirt, and I had to tidy up my room because there was piles of clothes on the dresser, and I had to adjust the light. There's a little light up there, and there's just crap all over the place, And I spent half an hour just kind of tidying up, and I almost didn't do it. But then I thought, no, you are letting perfection be the enemy of progress. And that's something that I tend to do all the time. And I just want to encourage you guys to not do that. Because if you wait until, your body is just right, if you wait until your hair is just right, if you wait until you have somebody who can, do your makeup and do the lighting and do all this other kind of thing, how long is it going to be before you make progress? It's going to be a long time. And one of the things that I've learned on this journey that I've been on, as far as being a positive influence in the world and being on my journey of manifestation and self-improvement and all those other sorts of things that I'm always trying to learn about and improve about myself, is that you just have to take that first step. That's the most important part. You just have to take that first step, even if it's ugly, even if it's awkward. This is the thing that Jordan Peterson says, is that you have to at least start badly, because otherwise you'll never start. And one of the things that I've started to do lately is make a commitment that anytime somebody's willing to listen, I'll talk to them about law of attraction, law of assumption, identity shifting, whatever it is. In much the same way that I used to talk to people about, the good news of Jesus Christ back when I was in my Christian days and evangelizing all over the place. And maybe that's part of my roots, and maybe it's something that's coming out from those times. I don't know, but I get excited about it. And if anybody will, sit still and listen to me for 5 minutes, then that's what I like to talk to them about. And this principle of not letting perfection be the enemy of progress ties in really nicely with a discussion I was having with a friend of mine recently about the idea that you have the thing that you want also wants you, right? The thing that you want also wants you. And I compared that to the I am principle that I've talked about in other videos, where you have the I am. Go watch the other videos. It's too hard to get into right now. But the I am principle is basically, it's the force that moves everything from non-being into being. And that is the I am, right? But what I compared it to in another place, in an essay I wrote recently, is that in nature, nature has developed an ability to take things like fruit or flowers or seeds or nuts or something that's desirable and consumable by some other creature, reptile, mammal, bird, I don't know. And they take their seeds and they deposit it in the food, right? And then the seeds go get scattered everywhere else. But the thing is that they have to make that food enticing so that whatever creature it is will come and consume it and then go deposit the seeds somewhere else. And if you take that idea and then you say, well, if the principle of correspondence from Hermeticism is correct, then we could say that that which above is like that which is below, and that which is below is like that which is above. it's possible that that thing that Carl Jung said, and this is a paraphrase, but this is the concept is right, is that people don't have ideas as much as ideas have people. And if you put those two things together, you can see that if there's an idea that is in the non-physical, it's in the unreal, that wants to move through to the real, to the manifested realm where we live, it's going to find different places. It's going to find like a portal where it can break through, right? And it's going to make something appealing. It's going to make something enticing, so that some person somewhere would be like, oh, I'm going to do that. I'm going to write that novel. I'm going to invent that fork. I'm going to do whatever the thing is, because this idea is here. And I feel like it wants to come through, and it wants to use my hands and my skills and my abilities and my intellect and my vision and whatever it is to go from the non-real to the real. And a friend of mine had a beautiful analogy about that, because I tend to look at things more analytically. You know, I look at the numbers and the physics and how is this blah, blah, blah. And she's more poetic and flowing and gentle and kind, whereas I'm, Master Sergeant Helgerson. And I'm like, too much of the time. I'm working on that. I'm getting better. But she compared it to, what she said is that my concept of the thing that you want wants you, she compared it to a butterfly garden. And at first I thought, it's a little bit silly, but all right, I'll hear you out. And she said, no, look, if an idea is a butterfly, it has to have someplace to go. It has to have something to do. It has to have, someplace to be. So what you have to do in your life is create a butterfly garden where you plant flowers that will attract the butterflies, where you create a safe space, you bring in an environment, you give it cool places to perch, and you give it wonderful things to do, so that the thing can come in and then flourish. And then maybe it'll tell some of its friends, and then there'll be more and more butterflies. I just thought that was an absolutely beautiful idea. Because, I like butterfly gardens. There's one over in Mount Holly, not far from where I live, and in the summertime when everything's in bloom, it's a nice place to stop by once in a while and just see all the little pretty butterflies flying around. But now when I look at that, I'll be thinking about, those are somebody's ideas, And I know you can't really see it right now, but I got that picture of Jesus. That's a statue of Jesus in front of a Catholic church a couple towns away from me. And then I also got my trusty Dave Matthews poster. And I have that. The way that it ties into this idea is that, the way all this stuff ties into this idea is that at one point in time, I had an idea that I wanted to be a Master Sergeant. And if you look at those medals on there, those are all the medals that I intended to get. Every single one of them are the ones that I intended to get. And that rank is the rank that I intended to get. And this concert that I went to, I had an intention to go to this concert. And it wasn't just like a regular Dave Matthews concert. It was something very, very special for me. If you want to know more about that, let me know in the comments. But it's also some guy named Dave Matthews, from South Africa, who moved to the US and was in Virginia and in the Carolinas and had an idea for a band, and he tried acting and that didn't work, and he started playing guitar and that was pretty cool, and he got a band together and they just went on the road and they committed, and now you've got Dave Matthews Band. Love him or leave him. I love him. And then, if you push the idea a little bit further, you got Jesus of Nazareth, who did all the things that he did. Regardless of whether or not you believe in the veracity of the Gospels, I'm not going to debate that, but the reality is that the church has been around for a very long time. And there's some very, very strong evidence that this was an actual human being that actually walked the face of the earth and apparently made quite an impression on the people around it. Good job, Jesus. But he had a vision and he had an intention. And you know what? None of these things started out perfectly. And if I had waited for this thing to be perfect, I wouldn't have my dresser sitting in front of him. I'd probably move the pictures, or I'd find a better background, or I'd do something else like that. But I'm not going to do that because, say it with me, you should never let perfection be the enemy of progress. Because whatever idea that you have is also an idea that wants you. And if you think of it as a butterfly, it needs a butterfly garden where it can flourish. And I think that's all I have to say today. So listen, hit like and subscribe, do all that kind of cool stuff. Share this around. I'd love to hear. I love discussions. Did I say that I love discussions? Absolutely love discussions. As long as it's like kind and good and productive. So if you're a fnargadurgan, then you're gonna have to bounce. So anyway, no fnargadurgany conversations at all. And listen, whatever it is, the idea that you've got. I talked to a young man today who has an idea for, he's studying coding, but he wants to start a business where he's a videographer and making, what do you call it? You know, it's like standard images for, you know, stuff like that. But he wants to do that. He wants to start it as a business, and he has a couple other things that he's trying to do. But right now he's working at Best Buy. And I was like, man, that's perfect. Like, do it. Like, you know, just keep moving forward and keep taking inspired action, and you'll do great. Anyway, that's all my thoughts. Namaste. Thank you for your time. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're being kind to each other. I hope that you are taking care of your teeth and your knees. You'll miss those when they're gone. And other than that, I guess see me soon.